Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dry Down. Today, as always, we're going to come up with a beautiful topic. This is a part of the first impression series that I've been doing and enjoying quite so. This is how I sample fragrances. I give myself a chance through sampling to see if something is worth a valuable piece of real estate in my collection and in my wardrobe. So I'm driving into the house of the brand Les Indémodables, and what I asked that brand was what did they think their best spring and summer fragrances offerings were, and I chose three out of five. I think that I was told there was quite good. There was one that they actually had run out of samples of at the time. It was Orange Sirocco, I believe the name of it is. So I didn't get that one. So what I have here today is Patchouli Noisette. I have Musc de Sables, and I have Iris Perle. Now, I understand that some of these fragrances from Les Indemodables and the perfumer Antoine Lai can be some very well-made, well-composed fragrances with great quality oils. I am a fan of the brand from Vanille Havane and Vanille Havane Coeur d'Oud, and so I am looking deeper into the brand to explore to see what else I can possibly add to my collection from this phenomenal house. So today, like I stated, we're going to dive into a few fragrances, just give a first impression. This is something I do to myself and for myself so that I don't waste, like I said, quality real estate in my collection. This is going to be just the first impression. If anything here that I am truly enjoying after the first impression and what I state of it, you will see it more than likely on the video in some type of long form content. And so we're going to first dive into the scent of Patchouli Noisette and see what we get here. I'm actually going to have three here, so I'm going to spray on skin as well. Nice sprayers. These are, I believe, 5 ml samples. Okay, wow. Wow. Okay, so what I'm getting, this is really, really good for a patchouli, sweet patchouli scent. So this, to me, the way it smells, it's not your typical patchouli. Right away, there's this deep, earthy richness that I'm finding surprisingly smooth. The patchouli here feels raw and quite refined. And quality oils right off the bat. It feels and smells like what you would think from patchouli in its depth and green complexity. You know, like it's that depth forest floor where it meets like this almost cakey polished wood scent. And then I'm getting some, I believe they have chestnut in this one, some woody components and some nut components. On the skin and on the blotter, it does come off similar. There's this nutty warmth to it. I don't look up the notes really when I'm trying to do a first impression video a lot. I want to get what it is instead of being entertained by the note structures, but I'm getting some nutty nuance. Something waxy about the patchouli is coming out now. I'm going to say this, I do believe that hazelnut is in this particular scent, and I am getting a very nice nuance of hazelnut sweetness. It's almost like this toasted sweetness that rounds out the rough edges of the patchouli. It rounds it out in a way I didn't actually expect. It actually is a very pleasant addition to the patchouli. The patchouli in this one, as it starts to melt into the skin, becomes a little bit more earthy. It's that patchouli that is done with a lot of elegance, but it still has that wild, untamed edge to it. It's that type of scent where you'll get, I would say, the sweetness. It's almost like a Javoy, a beautiful Javoy patchouli. I would even say in the realm of scents like Xerjoff's Rich Wood, scents like Coromandel, absent in the rolls in both of those fragrances. So it has that very well composed, expensive smelling patchouli, a nice enveloping hazelnut. And it's actually quite, with all the depth and complexity I'm smelling off at the first impression, it is something that I could see myself wearing in the springtime. Very elegant fragrance. I like this. Okay, so that is Patchouli Noisette. The first impression on that one. I like that a lot. It's actually very well composed. Next up, let's do Musc Indemodables. So Musc Indemodables, here is sample. And like I said, these are all factory samples. These are not something I bought secondhand. I'll spray Musc de Sables on my right hand. Like I said, very nicely done atomizers. I did do a weak spray there, but it got on the skin well enough. Nice oily sheen. Okay, I'm getting an iridescent musk coming off the skin already. These are great, I would say, well, great off the first spray. I am picking up within the 6-inch range a great atmospheric scent profile. So they have some push, is what I'm going to say. They are not weak fragrances at all. I like this one as well. This one is very creamy. Much more creamy than I expected. I expected something more aromatic and ethereal, slightly light, but more in that Boy Star Jant type of smell for this one. But it's much more creamier than I expected. I was thinking like a musky, maybe dry, but instead it's got this sexy, sweet, warm resinous, almost velvety sweetness to it. I need to look at the notes on this one. Musc de Sables is nice. I think I've looked at the notes and I know I have some, I believe in my mind, I'm picking up that there was in the opening a sweet almond or a bitter almond. And in the base, it had the benzoin in it. And so I think that's what I'm picking up. It's very much so nicely done fragrance, both of these. This almost has this sexy, soft almond, almost gourmand. I'm trying to say gourmand-esque vanilla sweetness, almost like a gourmand texture with the spices that kick in. You can also pick up a lot of spices off this one. That's nice. I'm going to say like clove, cardamom, or cinnamon is in this one. Adds this beautiful, beautiful warmth to it while still being sweet. It has like a nicely done exotic lift to it. And like I stated, this one is much more creamier than I thought. I did not expect that the animalic tonality would not show up in this one. I thought French perfumery would show me that this had a little bit more of an animalic ground. But it's more smooth, powdery. And as it's on my hand, it's actually melting beautifully into the skin. It's sensual, but it's not in an obvious way, kind of. I like this one as well. This is more like a whisper, more than it is a shout. I think this would be a beautiful date night fragrance. This would be a beautiful shared fragrance with you and your lover. And off this blotter and off the skin, it's really addictive smelling. It also has that quite, I don't know how to describe it other than saying it has that lotion musk to it. I'm not sure what it is that they use in a lot of lotions that make that creamy base to it. It has that almost musk facet to it in lotions that are in high-end lotions. But this is what I'm picking up. I'm not talking about like drugstore lotions. I'm talking about like lotions that you will get from an apothecary. Little with the actual key that you can actually squeeze every little best drop of lotion out of the metal tube with. So when I'm saying that it smells of lotion, I'm not saying this is Jergens or Dove. This is more some high-end apothecary lotion that has been well made. It's nicely done. I would love to smell this on a woman and see how this scent actually comes off. That once again is Musc de Sables. Next up, last on the list, I'm going to go with the scent. Only one I can go with is Iris Perle. And I'll spray that on this hand. Now this one, I expected and left it last because I readily assumed that this would be the most feminine, in which it is not. To me, in the air, this is the most fresh of the scents that they sent over. This is more earthy, gritty orris root than it is iris. This is fresh, but it really is unexpected way. I think that there has to be like an orange in this one. Some type of mandarin, some type of orange, or some type of tangerine, maybe an orange blossom. You know, this here is a powdery and elegant fragrance, but there is this almost breezy quality to it, almost wispy, ethereal quality to it. As it sits on the skin, I like this one as well. I'm impressed, fellas, ladies too. I'm impressed with what all of them, actually. I'm not going to say that they're definitely biased, but I'm definitely impressed with the high qualities, the scent structures. The opening is pleasant on each one. I think I'm most impressed with the opening of the patchouli scent. And what I'm mostly feeling here, I'll say this is this almost salty freshness weaving through this particular scent. It's almost like this ambergris. I don't know if ambergris is in it, but you can smell it in the fragrance. And that sits against what I'm thinking is some type of fruity floral essence. It's a real fruity floral, maybe an orange blossom. You get hints of what I would think of is also Rosia Dove style ylang ylang. I can smell that as well, almost like the Emiro. And so that's popping out. I think that this is ylang ylang heavy fragrance now as it starts to develop on the skin. You can see the sheen there. I like it. In each fragrance, especially this one, nothing feels heavily or overly sweet. They're just great smelling French perfumery. What you get is nothing outside of the musk, the Sables, where I smell that Guerlain-esque vanilla kind of. The rest of these, the other two, are very much so in line with what I come to expect from fine French perfumery. This one is starting to become a lot airier. I like it. So in this one, it's funny. I wasn't expecting something ambergris or a marine-like quality or marine-like facet like ambergris, that salty, salinic feel, but it is giving that off the skin and off the blotter. Makes it feel modern. Makes it feel like a nicely done. I will say this, like I stated, I thought this would be the one that was most feminine, but this comes off to my nose, at least in the opening, with a lot of the orange or tangerine. It's very prominent against a orris root, and it feels very, very modern, very, very unisex, but unisex leaning masculine to me. It feels and smells very alive, very much so. If I was to say I would wear this, scenario wise, when I think about this particular scent, this is one that I would put in direct comparison with my wearing style. Is if I'm wearing something like Bois d'Argent, if I'm wearing something like, or should I say Bois d'Argent, if I'm wearing something like Xerjoff Apollonia, this is a similar type of profile where it has this airy, whispery, creamy iris against other florals, be it yellow or white florals, and it feels and smells incredible. This is not the kind that feels like it's a powdery or cosmetic vibe. It's super sophisticated, but it's fresh, and I like that. Okay, guys, I hope you got something out of this. These are my first impressions of Patchouli Noisette, which I like. You guys hear my son in the background there, my little man. I have, and I do like the Musc, the Sables. I like all three of these guys. I'm going to give a first impression, or not first impression, but some type of wearing on each one of these. Usually when I do a first impression, I'll wait a few days before I put the scent on my body and wear it as a full wearing. But I'm going to choose one of these today to be my scent of the day. It's a cool 54 degrees high with the rain. And so what I'm going to do is choose the patchouli. But for right now, as these three scents go, I am happy that the brand sent these. The patchouli is more heavy than I thought and think of as a spring scent. So I'm not sure why they suggested that one. But it does feel good on the skin. I think that it can be worn in evenings without a problem, especially if you like wearing like Coromandel in a summertime evening. I think that would be fine. The musk is the addictive one. I think I could definitely smell that on unisex leaning, very, very like virile and sexy musk. I actually do like that a lot. Like I said, this is the one that has that garlanade type of scent, vanilla to it. All right. That is my first impression of three fragrances from the house of Les Indémodables, or Les Indemodables. These are the fragrances that are titled Patchouli Noisette, Musc de Sables, and Iris Perle. I will wear these samples and see how much I get of enjoyment. And if, like I said, if it's one I choose to put into my collection, you will see some type of long form video about them. Ladies, gentlemen, until next time, until next video, always remember that collecting is legacy and that sense is memory. And that's why we truly enjoy these things. And that we're at the dry down. We are the culture. We are the ones who are emitting the light of culture. We are the individuals leading this actual foray into the future. I want to thank you all for watching. And until next time, until next video, I will see you then.